So while you're warming up, just a reminder that today we're going to do a couple of graphing of hyperbolas and the work that's involved with them. Then tomorrow we'll work in reverse. So we'll get different scenarios, I'll give you different things, and I'm going to ask you to find the equation of the hyperbola. Friday is going to be a quiz, summative quiz on Friday, because it's that term we're going every other. So quiz this week, Friday. I will not be here on Friday, but you will be able to take the quiz without me. And all will be well. Anybody need more time on this one? No? All right, let's do it. So, if I want to write the equation of the line, of the tangent line through 3, 5, which is my point of tangency, and with the tangent to that circle, what is the first thing that I need to do? Yes, ma'am. By the center of my circle, why do I need, why do I need the center? Okay. Truly, I don't need to even, I can do this one without even drawing in the circle. I need 2 points, right? Which 2 points do I need? The point of tangency and the center. Okay? And what am I going to do with those 2 points? I'm going to find the slope of that radius. So the point of tangency was at 3, 5, and the center was at 4, -2. How do I find the slope between those two? Subtract the y's over subtract the x's? Yep. So that's going to be 5 minus a -2 all over 3 minus 4. 5 minus -2 is 7. 3 minus 4 is -1. So the slope of my radius is -7. Everybody agree with that? Okay. What is the relationship between the radius and the tangent line? Which plays into step number 2. You need to know the relationship between the tangent, the actual tangent line, and the actual radius. They're perpendicular. So if they are perpendicular, that means they have what kinds of slopes? Opposite reciprocal slopes. What is the opposite reciprocal of -7? +1/7. So the slope of my tangent line is +1/7. Now I can find the line. I'm going to utilize y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to utilize that with my slope of 1/7 and the point that I go through of 3, 5. If I do that, then y is 5, m is 1/7, x is 3, and I am finding the b value. 3 times 1/7 is 3/7. but I'm going to change 5 into 35/7. Why did I do that? Same denominator, and 35/7 is 5, so they are equivalent. Then I'm going to subtract 3/7 from both sides, and I get here 32/7 is my b. So the equation of my tangent line would be y equals 1/7 x plus 32/7. Whoa! 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 Ooh, it's getting even worse. It's pert near blizzard conditions out there. I think we should get out of here. I think,
It's flickered an hour ago.
call it. Yeah. Be done with it. Go home. Stay here till 5 instead. Gives it time to clear off the stuff. I'm with you. I hear you, sister. We can do conics all afternoon. Come on, dude.
I gotta go home.
Wow. So on Monday, well, as long as we're here and as long as it's snowing outside, then I know you're not going to look out there because it's scary out there. Okay? So on Monday, you should have written down on your supplemental note sheet the 2 equations for a hyperbola. And then once we talked about those, we talked about the 7 steps that we have to graphing a hyperbola. The first step, we have to determine which way it opens. And that is going to be determined by which variable squared is positive. So if the x is squared and positive, then it's a left and right opening hyperbola. If the y squared is positive, it's an up and a down opening hyperbola. Okay? Squeaky shoe? Squeaky shoes. That's what I thought it was. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was squeaky shoe. Okay? Okay? So that's the first thing we do. Second thing we do, curve, or center. We find the center. That's h comma k. We've been doing that for 3.5 weeks. Okay? You should be experts by now at h comma k. Third thing we do, step number 3, we build the box. Okay? So we look underneath the x squared term. That's going to tell us how far left and right we go after we take the square root. That's left and right sides of the box. Y, underneath the y term, we square root that one. That's up and down. That's top and bottom of the box. Then we draw in that box. We dash in that box, or we lightly draw in that box. Either way, I don't care. Okay? Then step 4 says, then we draw the diagonals of that box. Those diagonals of the box are also going to be the asymptotes of our hyperbola. So very important to draw them all the way across the graph. But then we also have to come up with the equations of those 2 asymptote lines. So there's a little bit of work involved there. The nice thing is that both of those diagonals go through the center of our hyperbola, and that the slope of them is either positive or negative b over a. So, and we already know those because b was how far up and down we went to build our box, and a was how far left and right we went to build our box. So we've got that information already. Then next we find the vertices. The vertices are on the sides of the box that correspond with the direction of opening. So if it's a x squared minus y squared hyperbola, then that's left and right. So the vertices are on the left and right sides of the box. If it's y squared minus x squared, then it's up and down opening. So the vertices are up and down, top and bottom of the box. Step 6 then allows us to draw in the hyperbola. So we'll do that. We'll draw that in. We'll stay inside the lines. We're not going to color outside the lines. Because remember, we don't cross over asymptotes with hyperbolas, so We're going to stay inside the line, so we're going to make our hyperbola. And then lastly, we're going to find the foci. And the equation for the foci in a hyperbola is what? What was the A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Pythagorean theorem, where C is the distance from the center to the focus. Okay? Alright? So let's put all of that to work. And let's graph this one. X squared over 49 minus y squared over 24 equals 1. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but with ellipses and hyperbole, that they always equal 1. Just because. Just because. Getting worse. Pretty soon we won't be able to see out the window.
Nope.
Yep.
There's gonna be no.
Nope. For those of you paying attention at home, it's 11:16 on Wednesday morning, and we can barely see out the window. It's snowing so hard. And I know it's the 19th of April.
This time last year, I had my car out.
Hey, never forget the spring of, I think it was the spring of 18.
Yeah.
I think it was the spring of 18.
Actually, I think it was 2017. I think that
No, it was 18. We had a snow day in May. Yeah, I can go back and look at my L Street calendar. We had a snow day in May. I think it was the spring of 18. Yeah. So, which way does this hyperbola open? Left and right? Because x squared comes first, it's positive, so this one is a left and a right opening hyperbola. Where is the center of this hyperbola? 0, 0. So I put a little C on my graph. What is my A value? 7. Okay. Underneath x squared is A 7. That means I'm going to go left and right 7. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and 7. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and 7. Put little dashes there. Okay. What is my B value? I want it exact. What is my B value? 2 square roots of 6 is my B value. Speak now. Everybody at peace with 2 square roots of 6? Everybody knows how we got it? Okay. Approximately, how much is 2 square roots of 6? It's closer to 5 than it is to 4, so like in that 4.8, yes.
You show me how you do that again. The 2 square roots of 6.
24 is 4 times 6, right? Square root of 4 is 2. Yep. Yep. So approximately 5. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and almost 5. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and almost 5. That allows us to now draw in said box. Box is drawn. Okay? Now what? Diagonals. Gotta make diagonals of this one. Okay? Diagonals. This color. Diagonals. That one. That one. That one. And make sure we go all across. Now we got to come up with equations of those, right? Okay. So I'm going to scroll down here a little bit, give myself a little bit more workage space. Okay. So the slope of our asymptotes is going to be plus or minus b over a. Right? Okay. We can leave it like that. We're fine with that. What is, this one is nice. What is the y-intercept for both of those asymptotes? 0, 0 is the point that it goes through, so what is the y-intercept then? Or what, I'm sorry. Yes, you were correct. 0, 0 is the y-intercept. What is the b value of that for both of those? 0, right? Because it's the y part of the y-intercept, so that would be 0. Okay? So my two asymptotes here are going to be y equals positive 2 square roots of 6 over 7x plus 0. Don't have to write it. And y equals negative 2 square roots of 6 over 7x plus 0. In this case, you can, but that's not every single case. In this case, you can, but that's not the case in every single one, just so you know. Okay? If your center is at the origin, it will be the case, but that's the only time that it will. If your center is not at the origin, you cannot do that. Okay? Okay? Since it is a left and a right opening hyperbola, that means then that the vertices are both left and right. So I go from the center until I hit the edge of my box, which would be there and would be right there. So that would be the point 7, 0 and negative 7, 0. Step number 6 now says we can draw in and step number 7 lastly says c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. A squared is 49. B squared is 24. Those two get added together and give me a c squared value of 73. Which means that c then is equal to square root of 73. Is there any factors of 73 that are perfect squares? Nope, I don't think so. So square root of 73 is the c value. Since it's left and right, we're going to add that to the x part of my center. If it were up and down, we would add it to the y part of my center. So the foci are going to be at 0 plus and minus the square root of 7, oops, I forgot 7 and 73, comma 0. Okay? Which is approximately like 8.5-ish. So we already went out 7, 8.5. There's one foci, 7, 8.5. There's the other. Okay? Questions on graphing a hyperbola? Ready to try one on your own? All right, let's do it. Here we go. Try this one. Graph me this one. Find me all the parts, all the good stuff to go along with it. Good news out there in video land is that now, 15 minutes later, the snow has stopped. I know, but the nice thing with April snow, melts really fast. Just promise. Which way does this one open? Up and down? Because the y squared is first? Where's the center? The center is at -5, -2. Now that's the tricky part here on this one, because you're going to want to go left or right. This goes back to the parabolas, and you got to look what's attached to the x, what's attached to the y. Did it wrong, didn't you?
No.
Okay. Oh. Okay. What's my a value? My a value is 4. Because a is underneath x. Okay? So since my center is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, right there, then I'm going to go left and right 4. What's my b value? 2. I'm going to go up and down 2. Then I can draw in my asymptotes. Then I need to figure out the equations of said asymptotes. So the equations or the slopes of the asymptotes are going to be plus and minus b over a, which reduces down to b plus or minus 1/2. Okay? So then I've got two different ones to go with. Both also have, or both go through the center, which again was -5, -2. So y equals mx plus b, so -2 is going to equal positive 1/2 times -5 plus b. -2 plus 5/2 is positive 1/2, would be my b. So my first asymptote would be at y equals positive 1/2 x plus 1/2. Then I have to do it with, then I have to do it with -2 equals -1/2 times -5 plus b. -2 minus 5/2 is -9/2 as my b. So the second asymptote would be at y equals -1/2 x minus 9/2. Okay? We said it was an up-down opening hyperbola. So there are my two vertices. -5, 0 and -5, -4. That's going to allow me then to draw in the hyperbola. C squared is going to be A squared plus B squared. So C squared is going to be 20, which makes C be 2 square roots of 5. Because my foci are up and down, that means it's going into the y part of the center. So that's going to be -5, comma, -2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 5. 2 square roots of 5 is like 4.5. 2, 4.5, 2, 4.5. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? Yeah. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll work in reverse. We'll probably have a graphing hyperbola to start as a warm-up, and then work in reverse. Friday is a summative quiz. Okay?